Welcome to CATtheMinion YouTube channel. My name is Teresa, but you can call me Cat. I'm doing a card of the day reading. This is going to be an extended of some sort. I've got two decks that were kind of looking at me, and I shuffled and cleared them, and I had a few cards that were starting to give me messages, but I've basically just shuffled them back into the deck. However, this Four of Pentacles showed up again on the bottom of the deck, but if I do get anything from here, I'm going to shuffle it through again and see if it falls out, but if it comes out again, perhaps. So we'll see. Let me start with the Dreams of Gaia tarot here. And I'll go back to the mini-Rider-Waite if I need to. I've had a very weird day here. I've been working on my sacral chakra for a couple of days. I realized I had some fear-based stuff going on. And it's nothing to do with what's going on in the world right now. It has to do with personal stuff. And I felt like I've achieved some opening and clearing, and all of a sudden today I woke up in a lot of pain. Now, I already have a herniated disc in my back right near, well, maybe it's not right near, but the way the pain radiates, it's mostly in my sacral area. And so I had a disc blowout in my back when I had my Kundalini awakening, the Kundalini awakening, 4.5 years ago. So it's been a challenge. So I woke up today, and I will point out that I have not been that kind to my back this week. I've had some chores and whatnot to contend with that do aggravate it, and I've been lazy with the yoga and the ointments, and I've been avoiding taking pain medication unless I absolutely have to. So I'll just start saying there, but my back is in agony right now. And I was really pissed off for most of the day. And I got into this CD called The Musical Sea of Tranquility that we originally had maybe 20 years ago, and we have a newer copy of it hanging around now. And I've been rereading the Celestine Prophecy. I haven't had a synchronicity, and I was like, wait, do I still have that? Because I bought it to give to somebody several years ago, and ended up not connecting. Get that up. I'm about to lose my back thing here. I've got a square bottle stuffed behind my back to help, like, instead of a tennis ball. So I still have copies of the 4 books there, and I had a synchronicity, so I was like, well, I've been rereading all these other books that I've read 20 to 25 years ago, so I'll just reread that one too. You know, and they've been coming at certain points, so I read a little bit, I put on the Musical Sea of Tranquility, and at first I was like, no, don't give in to the anger, because the anger isn't really any worse than the fear, because I'm just getting really tired of all this constant 24/7 fear-based garbled bullshit. You know, not discounting that there's something actually going on, but it's just really starting to piss me off. And effectively, and I'm tired of having every waking second of every day completely permeated with it. So I was very angry and was upset that I was angry, and I was like, well, the anger isn't better than the fear. And I'm like, wait a minute. One of the first keys to spiritual awakening was allowing myself to feel my feelings. If I resist feeling the anger, it's just going to piss me off more. So in a few minutes, I went from accepting the anger and then like rage crying a little bit. And then I got into, I only read maybe 10 or 15 pages. And then I felt a lot better. My back still hurts though. But I tried to breathe into the chakra to open it up, and boy did that hurt. There is some deep cleansing going on there. It's like a self-cleaning oven. It's at 500 degrees and I'm not supposed to touch it. Oh my god. So that's interesting. One of those things where you open it right up and then it snaps. It's like, you do not want to be open. And I'm like, okay, but it hurts. So that's the whole deal there. Trying very hard not to be in a fear mindset. I've gotten really angry a couple other times lately too. I feel like I want to go for a walk and then I'm like, eh. Or then if somebody gonna yell at me for walking around outside without a mask on. And I did find this crystal necklace that my friend gave me. I had it, I was going to cut it apart and put the little crystal chips for something else, and I was digging around in my craft box and I found it. I'm like, oh, crystals, maybe it will help me sort out my anger today. So put it on. It's not really my style, but I feel it looks good with this shirt, actually. Alright, so let's hopefully get a card here. But I think I need to explain all that to everybody, just because, you know, I think a lot of other people are probably experiencing similar rage and frustration. There we go. Okay, this did come out in my shuffle. Death and Rebirth. Alright, so there's a little baby in the egg, glowing that solar yellow color. We have this snake here, a little bit into that kundalini energy, or that energy serpent that connects all of the chakras together. And then we have 3 skulls here. The upper world, the lower world, and the middle world. Anything worth doing is worth doing 3 times. Oh, there's a little frog there, isn't he cute? Little tree frog. Oh. Amphibious. Bridge between worlds. Okay. You're awakening to a new form of consciousness. Starting a new project. Reevaluating things. Building something new, or even just pregnancy. Your pregnant mind. I also get a sense of opening up your solar chakra and sort of like reinvigorating your inner child. It's like nurturing yourself. So your awakened self up here nurturing this. It's like going back in time within yourself and nurturing yourself through these different death cycles and transformations that you've completed. Now on the bottom of the deck we have the King of Earth. Like a green man. there's something going on in terms of higher consciousness that has very much to do with the physical body. So here there's something going on within the physical body. We have this core backed by the spine, essentially, the nervous system, that pillar of energy, or the spiral of energy coming up through you. But what's really happening is sort of a balancing and learning command of your physical reality. I think a lot of people are going to have more of a connection with their bodies right now. I don't really see this more as in terms of money with this card in this deck. I see it as like living cells. Okay. I'm gonna see what else is under here. I'm feeling this card. Let me get another one. I got a whole pile trying to fall off here. Maybe I'll get back to these. I'm gonna set these aside for a minute and see what they are. Okay. This came out reversed, but I don't feel like I want to take reversals right now. This is the Thought card. 18. In a normal deck, 18 would be the Moon, but here we have Thought. So we have this duality here, and this breathing in and out of shapes in the background, and this very defined pentacle right here. I know it's hard to see, but that is a pentacle. We have this orange glowing here in the cauldron. So the cauldron can be like this egg as well. It looks very much like those skulls could be a cauldron in themselves. And it's essentially like these two other cards together. We have 8, Death and Rebirth. We have a 14, King of Earth. Then we have 18. Just trying to get a sense of why this card is here, reiterating what's going on in these other two cards, and what the numbers might relate to. Oh, 8 and 18, okay. This is an overview. Taking a step back to look at your situation from outside of yourself. Instead of saying, what's happening to me, it's, what does this mean for my life in the grander scheme of things? Let's see what these other 3 cards are that popped out. Oh, okay, so this one came out. This one came out upside down. So here's the missing number 10. I don't remember seeing this card before. I must not have gotten it come out in a reading. It's interesting. She's holding a mask. This is a 10 of Pentacles. This has to do with achieving some kind of like, I want to say fulfillment, but it's more like a completion. It's like you have fulfilled the requirements for this position or this certificate. You got all the proofs photocopied and put in with the application and all checked off, and the paperwork is done. That's what I'm getting from this. Now we also have 5 and 21 perception. So this is the Father. Now in the normal deck, the 5 would be the Hierophant. But here the archetype is in place of where the Emperor would be. Perception is in place of where the world would normally be. So here I feel like this is, I did it wrong. This is thinking about it. I mean, there's a sword right on the card. This is almost like it's like an emperor version of the sword element in that sense. And again, this one is also wearing a mask. Little kitty, meow. This guy is really very foresty, very woods in the mountain lion. Let me just think for a second on what these cards are trying to say, because they came out as a threesome. Little throuple of cards here. Let's figure out what they're saying. $15. And there's a very clear... Okay, here we go. Let me lay these out a little bit better. These cards are together. We're looking at an overview. We've checked off this list. We've gone back and looked over the instructions and made sure that everything is where it's supposed to be. You know, it's like we've made a list and we're checking it twice. These cards go together. Your perception of whether you're dying or being reborn makes a difference to where you end up. I have an opportunity to renew myself on a higher level. You know, I might feel like I'm drowning, but I have a way to breathe in the water and on the land with this little frog here. The serpent and this sword with the two feather tufts coming off of the head are essentially the same entity. And the skulls and the black cloak and the black feathers are serving the same purpose in these two cards. Your perception of what's going on with you have a lot to do with your ability to nurture yourself and to grow something new out of what can, on the surface, feel like decay. These two cards are extremely in masculine energy, whereas these two cards are in feminine energy. There's a balance going on here. This is sort of a neuter entity, or one that's combined in both its masculine and feminine elements. Just as we would assume that in this baby or fetus or new project would be both or neither, or neutral in that way, where it's not deciding to be linear and it's not deciding to be creative. It's using both forces to grow something right now. It hasn't diversified. In its stem cells haven't become liver or heart yet, in that sense. You know, it's a unified front that it's a survey class that hasn't broken off into, you know, chemistry or physics. Or, I was trying to think of something else. I don't know. Anyway, these masculine energies are working on balance, nurture, and creativity. In order to have balance in your body, you have to nurture your body. In order to be a father, you have to be in this sense of providing and caring. And he's also not attacking this mountain lion, and in the same respect, the mountain lion is chilling out. He isn't afraid and attacking. He has clarity of mind. Alright, let me see. I know this is long. I didn't even feel like doing this today. My foot's asleep. Okay. I'm really feeling this Dreams of Gaia tarot. I am intrigued because I don't think I've ever gotten the Father or the Ten of Pentacles before. I mean, I have not used these decks that much. Well, I haven't used this deck that much. I have a couple more decks coming. I'm excited for that. I want to get into the Thoth deck. I feel like that's going to be intense. Give me something else. I really want that other card that popped out before to come out again, but I don't want to pull it out of the deck. Wow, this is very green. The Ace of Pentacles. So this is, again, referring back to that something new. Now, instead of a baby, there's a little seed growing there right between the dragon's paws. And if we go back to here, there's that little dragon as a baby. This is a 10 here as well. It's like the cycle is completed, and there's an offspring that's growing something of its own. It also really looks like the dragon and this guy are either the same creature or one is, he's like the seed here that the dragon has created. They have the same horns. Interesting. Ace of Pentacles is like spring, springtime kind of. Even if it's not supposed to be, I sense it. It always seems like a springtime to me. It's the directive. It's the message that tells the DNA to start growing, for that life to unfurl in the middle of that plant. I'm feeling that one. Put it back. If it comes out again, I'll take it, but I wasn't feeling it. It didn't really fall out all the way. Okay. So here's another 10. This is Wisdom. This would normally be the Hermit in a regular deck. So what's happening with this whole process of unfurling at a new level is, in order to achieve that, there has to be a deep knowing of oneself in the interior. It's also in it, the whole thing in itself is a learning process. It's like you may have thought you knew something before, but until you go through, like, put in your application to the universe to level up, and then wait to hear back from your audition and think about your life, is when you finally get to achieve that wisdom. What else is going on here? Nothing else from... Whoa, okay. 3 more cards here. Okay. So we have the King of Air with intuition. Intuition here is 22. This is an extra major arcana card in this deck. I think it has 25 of them. Now the King of Air is this balance of perception and thoughts. It is the masculine energies approach Leave these 3 cards up. To processing information, communicating about it, viewing things from new sides. Intuition has to do with the my brain is gone. Intuition is like where thoughts begin to form. It's the driving force that even creates any thoughts whatsoever. But intuition is also your body generating information to give you thoughts. Intuition is like that gut feeling. So we have a balanced view of how our thinking is. We're balanced in the linear thought, we're balanced in this creative, intuitive, more from the body thinking that's been developing from these cards down here. So what happens is that also came out 2 of Pentacles. This is normally trying to juggle things and figure out what you're doing. This is like a girl or a princess or a novice kind of energy. But look at what she's juggling. I know they're hard to see on here, but they're little eggs that look an awful lot like this egg. So we've come full circle here. This is like a fractal version of the whole thing that's going on here. We had an ace, and now we have a 2. There's a portal behind her, and she's juggling all these new versions, thoughts, and opportunities of yourself. But it's also like a root or a fractal. This is 2. 22 intuition, that's 11 times. It has to do with timing. And again, we have these 2 kings in here balancing out these energies. I feel like that's enough out of that deck, but let's see what's on the bottom here. Aha! She did pop out. 23, integrity. We have this. This is what I was thinking about in terms of sacral energy. We have this nude woman on here. She's not feeling shame because her sacral chakra is open. And she understands that it's another modality of energy. She's got, I think hers is actually a leopard. Whereas this king over here has a mountain lion. She's also got an owl for wisdom from here, from this intuition card. So we've got from 22 to 23. So what happens when you're growing new ways of thinking in terms of the world around you on a continual basis, and using this balance between logical thought processes and the information that you're getting from your body and your environment, is an integrity of thought. You are protected and safe and self-nurturing, and you have this like fortitude to know that you are in command of your own body and your own creative force, and the wisdom to know the difference there. I'm going to see if there's anything popping out here. Now, when I was shuffling these cards and this came out, I don't know if I remember what the other card was. I think it was a king that came out with this. It might have been the King of Swords, I don't remember. I can't recall clearly. I got the Beatles, You've Really Got a Hold on Me. So instead of saying like, oh, you're hoarding stuff, or you're not letting go of things you should let go of, or you're just clinging too tightly, it's this idea of being wrapped up in some other kind of energy. And I thought that was important. Get the Wheel of Fortune. So let me just get in here a little bit. The mini-Rider-Waite. It's kind of hard to shuffle because they're so teensy, but they're so cute. I love them. I love these cards. Oh, there it is again. High Priestess. It's like that too. Just get like one or two of these maybe. Okay. So this flopped out a little bit when I was shuffling. 10 of Cups. So dealing with the balance in how you're thinking and perceiving the world around you really helps tie in this emotional fulfillment. I said requirement fulfillment, emotional fulfillment. Your home application has been approved. And again, that's another 10. So here's the sun. There's that little baby from inside the egg. He doesn't have a dragon, he's got a horse here. But look at all these sunflowers. That's like that plant that was growing inside the dragon's paw. Need a little bit of good day sunshine there. Need some radiant energy to flow into your new projects, to really light them up. And again, there's that fortitude energy because Leo is also in the Strength card. This horse is just like, I think it's high or something. He's like, yeah, man, I'm just walking around and shit. Ace of Cups. So that is very much matching with the Ace of Pentacles. And we have this 11 here. I feel like there's something else that needs to be said with the Ace of Cups, but I want to get another card to clarify it. Oh, the Ace of Swords. Okay. So this is that balance between emotions and thoughts, between the gut, or well, in this case, it's between the heart and the thoughts. What do I really want? How do I go about getting it? Oh, and here's the Ace of Wands on the bottom. So I think that's a good place to stop. 4 aces. There's that other guy. So there's a light in the dark here with what's going on in this energy. And there's so many cards going on here, but I think what's happening is that people are being forced into a place where there's less distractions and they have to really focus on what's in front of them. And it's causing a shift in perception. People have to really take a step back and think about their life in a little bit broader perspective. And here again, there's darkness and light, there's happiness and sadness. Everything in the cosmos is breathing in and out. You have expansion and contraction, and then you have a rebirth again. Okay, I think that's pretty good. I don't really want to say anything else right now. You can look in the description box of my infomercial video for a list of readings, contact points, payment methods, merchandise, art things, all listed in there, or you can email me directly, thecatcamebackatcamp@gmail.com, and I'll give you the information there. Alright, bye now.